to thank everybody for their patience. We've been working through a technical issue for the past 20, 30 minutes, and I need to do a quick sound check to see if we've solved that technical issue. We will begin in just a few minutes. Thank you for your patience. Please feel free to talk. It'll make the choir students feel a little less awkward. Music department here at Christa McAuliffe Middle School, I am thrilled to invite you to the first annual Fall Welcome Concert. My name is Mr. Aaron Fondy. I am the director here at Christa McAuliffe Middle School. It is such a phenomenal thing to see such an immense turnout for our first concert in support of these young musicians who are starting their incredible musical journey here at Christa McAuliffe. So I'm so thrilled that you're here. And I'm so thrilled because today is that celebration of all of our beginners. So as such, let's go over just a few quick ground rules here before we begin. Actually, you can see this in your program when you open it to the first yellow sheet. I like to go over this especially in the first concert, so I want to make sure that we just review some fundamentals here. I find that if everyone, and of course I've been reviewing this with students like nonstop for the past week, but if everyone just takes a moment to take a look at the concert etiquette page, I'm not going to read it all out to us, but a few fundamentals here. At the end of each particular performance, you will see me conducting, and when my arms go down, that's how you know it's the end. So last year, for example, we were playing this piece with advanced orchestra. It's a glorious piece called Moonlit Skies, and if you're with us, then there was this moment where there's this big moment where we're holding a chord, and we're holding this note, and I cut off. And the music isn't over, but we fooled the audience every time. And the audience would clap, always. And so we kind of got used to that being the spot. But if we just, just that kind of things, being aware of that. If you could, if the call of nature does, in fact, call, we ask that you please wait until the music is finished to address that. Meaning, if you need to use the restroom or something like that, or something like that, we really appreciate it. So as not to distract the performers or the audience members. Now, in terms of talking and whispering and things like that, we've had a lot of conversations with our students about that, and they're doing a phenomenal job already tonight. So we just ask that any talking and things like that, please wait until the music has stopped to do so. Finally, last but not least, pictures and video are absolutely encouraged, but I do need to let you know that we do have a wonderful parent volunteer. Thank you, Dave, so much. Back there, he is taking video of the entire event so that any parents, families, etc., that can be here tonight, or maybe got parents on the or family on the East Coast, family elsewhere in the world, will capture video so that you can share that with them. But as such, feel free to take photos or take videos. My only thing is please make sure that your flash is turned off so as not to distract any performers. Also, at the end of any given piece, I will give you a photo op, and the kids will stand uncomfortably and they'll be smiling and whatnot, and that'll be your moment to take a great photo of the kids at the end of each of their performances. Last but not least, I always love seeing the younger siblings at these events. It's so important that young kids get exposure to live music. It's just, live music changes lives. So I'm a big fan of that, but please consider being courteous. If your young one starts to get overstimulated or something like that because the sounds are a bit much, or maybe they're just getting a little restless, we ask that you please promptly escort them out of the MPR so as to until calmer times prevail. Let's put it like that, because all that kind of thing. We appreciate your attention to those things, and as such, we're going to get straight into the music. I know it's hot, so we're going to try and get through this thing as quickly as we can, so we can get in there and have some dessert at the end. Okay. All right. In front of you is the Christa McAuliffe Middle School Choir. In a moment, we're going to stand choir. They're going to be opening up with a round called Frejolfe. Of course, the original text in French. We're singing this one in English. You're going to hear them sing in unison, in 2 parts, and then in 4 parts. If they do it really well, and they will, then you're going to hear all 4 parts equally happening at the same time. So we hope you enjoy. This is their very first performance of their lives. So, as such, I couldn't be more impressed with this choir, because some of us came in here and thought, like, hey, there's no way I can sing, right? No way, right? I mean, I'm not a singer, and the reality is that anyone can become a singer if they're willing to work at it, and if they have a teacher that's able to kind of put things into context for them. And these students have risen to immense challenges. And just being able to sing in 4 parts like that this early in the school year is so impressive. So I just wanted to make sure to say I'm very proud of them. They're doing an amazing job. We're going to move on now to Do, Re, Mi, which is originally from The Sound of Music. This is an adaptation of that. We were using this to learn solfege, which is basically the way that many singers learn how to differentiate pitch and understand harmony and things like that. So you're going to hear we're going to start slow, and we're going to ramp up a little faster every time. And they have to catch these changes because I'm not conducting them. I have to play the guitar. So they have to catch these changes without a conductor. And they also split off into 2 parts. And I believe we have a little show aspect of it for you as well. So here's Do, Re, Mi from The Sound of Music. for a solid 30 minutes. We don't have that kind of time. And, you know, I'm sure that some of them are dying to get off the risers at this point. So I need to say that once again, it's just really incredible. These kids, they meet first period as well. Like, I'm just show of hands. Is there anybody in the audience that used to sing in a choir at some point? Oh, cool. So there's quite a good number. So I'm just curious, did anybody in the audience sing like in a choir where you rehearsed in the mornings? I'm wondering if you can relate to that. Okay, then you can relate to the struggle, right? That early morning, wake up, and now we gotta have energy, we gotta sing, and your voice sounds like there are like little gremlins in there, right? So it's a real struggle sometimes, but yet they've really risen to the challenge of getting up, no matter how they're feeling, just sort of prepping up and making it happen. Now, choir, raise your hand. I'm asking the choir, raise your hand if this is your first time performing in a choir tonight. Can we give a special round of applause? It is so scary to get up and especially be the opening act for a packed house like this, and then to just sing your heart out like this. So I'm really excited. Now, this being said, this next tune we were having technical issues with, but they agreed to go ahead and tackle this thing a cappella. And anybody who's ever been in a choir knows that that's usually a tall order. But they have risen to the challenge. So I will let you know in this one, I'm going to be giving pitches during a transition because there's a key change. So I need to give them pitches. And that'll be the one interruption to the performance, just to let you know. But otherwise, they're going to sing the whole thing without a backing track for you tonight. This is the antiphonal song of joy, and you're going to hear a back and forth conversation between two sides of the choir, which is what antiphonal stands for in music. So we hope that you enjoy.
Sing, sing a song of joy. Sing, sing, sing
Before we get the orchestra on the stage, I want to take a moment to say a few thank yous, and then we have a special presentation, which we're going to unveil in just a moment. Before we move on, I just want to say some quick things. First of all, to our amazing booster board, and of course, the president of our booster board is Michelle Ellis, up here on the stage. Have been working so diligently to support our program, and this year it's just so exciting seeing all the things that we have planned for our kids and how we're going to support this program and take us to places we've never been before. Another quick thank you to those parents who showed up today to help with this setup. I was actually saying this entire time, this is the first concert where a couple things happened. One, I was actually able to eat something, which was really nice. And two, I was able to start a concert without being totally out of breath and feeling like I'm just like sweating my weight out. So a huge thank you, shout out to those parents. We give it up to those parents who volunteered to set this all up. Thank you very much. As well as the parents who are currently volunteering to monitor, to escort, to do sign-in duty, to do dessert reception. It's just truly incredible. This is a triumph of our community, and it just blows my mind how wonderful we can make this together. And so as such, I'm going to go and hand this off now to our president, Michelle Ellis, who's going to talk about the unveiling that's coming next.
Thank you all very much for being here tonight. We really appreciate it. Last year, we formed a booster program for the music program, so Friends of CMMS Music. And we discovered this year through some really amazing collaborative efforts and from a digital designer that we needed to be rebranded. And we were provided some amazing insight and direction to make some changes because you can't have a successful program without a successful brand. And through collaborative efforts and a lot of information and direction, we were provided this really amazing new brand that we are going to have for the foreseeable future. Embedded into this new beautiful logo. Which Mr. Cosby is right here. Thank you so much. So at the top we have CMMS. It is the McAuliffe colors. We have the treble clef. We have the eagle. We have a very adorable little rocket in representation of McAuliffe because it is often not represented in our school. We have it is a 4-star award-winning program, and then we have these 3 little feathers, if you will, to represent the 3 different divisions of the program. We've got choir, orchestra, and band. 8 stars over here to represent Mr. Fonzie's 8th year teaching in the program. And then down here is a play button because in order to start, you always have to play music. This will be our logo for this year. And I would like to say a very, very special thank you to Tim. I cannot pronounce your last name. You saved my life. But our percussionist, Braden, his dad, Tim, provided a lot of time, energy, and effort in designing this logo for us. He's got an amazing gift, and he provided us with some really amazing insight into the development of this design. So thank you very, very much. If anybody needs to go by in digital media, I know who to deal with. Thank you all very much.
So I want to thank you all for your patience. This being the first concert of the school year, there's so much to coordinate, from parent volunteers to how specifically everything works. So as you can see, we're working out our kinks, but that's one of the reasons that we have this concert, right, is to begin that process of learning how this all works. And it's the first time, and so it's all fresh. So we appreciate your patience and your diligence as we work through those things. Our orchestra is getting up here on the stage now. Now what you're seeing is the combined advanced and beginning orchestra, and we have a pretty special presentation with the orchestras and the bands, because what you're going to see is as we play, the advanced orchestra students will little by little be leaving the stage to make room, to make way for the beginning orchestra. And this is meant to be symbolic, and that this is where the welcome concert aspect of this comes in. Symbolically, what's going to happen is the older kids, the advanced kids, are going to little by little hand the torch over to the beginning orchestra kids. So by the time we get to the last number, you will hear the beginning orchestra in its full form for the first time in the 2023-2024 school year. So I'm so excited to present this to you. Similarly, of course, our students, our advanced students, have prepared a little surprise something for our beginning orchestra students, just to give them that extra little bit of support and encouragement. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and just make sure that we're in tune real quick, and then we'll get started. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We are beginning with a tune called Rolling Along, which I don't know why it's called Rolling Along because it's big. It's just Mary Had a Little Lamb, but I figure it had to do with copyright. Either way, this is Rolling Along, otherwise known as Mary Had a Little Lamb. As some of our advanced students make their way off the stage, we're going to go and move on now to Seminole Chant, which is actually a native traditional, which more or less is meant to, the minor third represented in this is fairly indicative of many religious chants and whatnot, as well as sacred chants that the Seminole Native American tribes would sometimes use in their practices. So it's kind of meant to be a symbolic gesture to Native American culture. So that's what Seminole Chant is. We hope you enjoy. The next tune is called Lightly Row. It's a very common tune used in the Suzuki method, especially when teaching violin and string instruments. Now, considering that we are starting in middle school, you can't really properly start Suzuki. So I'm just curious, I like to do this. Raise your hand if you are a strings player or you played in an orchestra when you were younger, or maybe you still do now. Oh, not as many in the audience. Okay. Yeah, so the Suzuki method is a common method used to sort of teach like younger elementary students, and then little by little they kind of grow up playing the violin, and it starts by this whole sound to sight concept. So considering that we don't have the luxury of that kind of time, or I can't work with them from the time that they're 2 or 3 years old, we started with a different method over here. And I want to point something out. Normally, when learning an orchestral instrument, You'd expect the orchestra to be on pizzicato for a long time, meaning they're plucking their strings for a long time. Because when you add on the bow, it's like adding on a completely other instrument. So, but as you're watching this and listening, I want you to consider most beginning orchestras wouldn't even be close to touching the bow at this point. And for good reason, because it makes things way more complicated. But they are doing everything with their bows, which is immensely challenging. It's like they're playing two instruments at the same time, while also reading the music, while also watching the conductor, checking in with each other, and trying to stay precisely together. It's incredibly complex what they're doing. Now that being said, I want to take a moment now to mention, later in the year we're going to be doing this thing called the Parent Orchestra, where your children will have 1 hour to teach you how to do exactly what they're doing today. And I strongly encourage that you be a part of it because it's so much fun and it's so enlightening when you try to put together a performance in an hour. So I hope to see you there. This is Lightly Row. Here we go. We're getting to the end of the set here. This next tune is called Caribbean Island. The intervals that are used in this tune are very indicative of Caribbean music. It actually features what's called the octave. So you'll hear them playing their low D string as well as a high D, which is ideally it sounds like the same note, this one's higher and lower. And the challenge with this one is that rather than playing on just one string, they're transitioning pretty quickly from between two strings with their bows. So this is Caribbean Island. So while the last of our advanced orchestra students leave the stage at this time, I wanted to let you know that they have been giving high fives and saying like they're proud of you, you got this, we believe in you. And they also wrote very special little notes to the beginning orchestra students. So beginning orchestra students, if you don't see them yet, then I want you to please make sure to take a look at them because they're special. They're special notes that are written just for you. Because there's one thing that we believe in our program, it's community, it's family, it's caring. We care for each other around here. We have each other's backs. And I preach that constantly, and our students are incredible at caring for each other. So, can we give a round of applause for advanced orchestra students? And now, it is my pleasure to introduce performing the piece Song for Christine, which, if there's a Christine out there, I guess this one's for you. If you don't know which Christine it's for. So, yeah, this one's for you, Christine. But performing the Song for Christine, the first performance of the 2023-24 beginning orchestra. Getting it. Okay. All right, everybody. So I'm so excited to present the final portion of tonight's concert, which is right now, what is the combined bands of the beginning and the advanced band. And we have two high schoolers actually who came back from Bear Creek to come over and play with the beginners and kind of make their presence known a little bit. So I'm so excited to have them. Just like with the orchestra, you're going to see a really symbolic gesture here where little by little as we go, students will be leaving the stage until we hear the first official performance of just the beginning band of 23, 22, 24. So you're going to hear a song you just heard. This is Rolling Along, but it's the band version. So it's really interesting hearing how these things differ and the differences between the band and the orchestra. So let's get to it. This is Rolling Along, otherwise known as Mary Had a Little Copyright Problem, performed by the band. So I had to do some digging because I was thinking hot cross buns, what could you say about this tune, right? It's like the most common recorder tune in the world. You've probably heard like many a first, second, third, or fourth grader play this tune on their recorder. But actually it comes from a very interesting history. And all I'm going to say is I encourage you to go ahead and take a look at those program notes. I did some research for you and looked into this, and it's actually really interesting, the history of the hot cross bun. With that being said, we're going to go and play now hot cross buns. Just like we didn't do this with the orchestra, but I'm going to go ahead and do this now with the band. Raise your hand, or actually, you know what, if you're sitting, stand, if this is your first performance in a band of your life. This is the first time you've ever done this. Go ahead and stand now. And give it a special round. transition real quick. Orchestra over there in the student section, would you please take a moment now to stand if this was your first performance ever in your life? Go ahead, stand now. All right, let's go ahead and move on. The next tune we have here is called Listen to Our Sections, and this is a pretty big challenge, especially at the beginning, because students have to count rests and come in confidently and know how to breathe together and play together and synchronize their entrances. And it features every section. So you're going to hear percussion at the beginning, you're going to hear the woodwinds, and you're going to hear the brass. You're going to hear this going back and forth, and the theme is being sort of, it's almost like passing the baton throughout the whole piece. So here's Listen to Our Sections. Let's step up the challenge even more. London Bridge is a duet, and it's the first tune that they've learned that is not just simply in unison, it's in two parts. So, and with this one, there's a fair amount of independence as well, counting through rests and things like that. So, London Bridge. I think we're ready. Are we ready? Yes, London Bridge. This is my favorite moment right here, when the last of the advanced students have left, and for the first time we're going to hear the authentic beginning band of 2023-24. Before we get to this final performance, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I hope that you will, a couple of things. One, directly after the performance, we will need some assistance with racking chairs and things like that. The students know to jump right into action. Right, students? Yeah. We're going to need you to jump right into action and make sure that we're starting to put these chairs away. They go back on the racks back there, and the parents who helped out with the setup, you probably remember how it goes, and all that kind of thing. So we appreciate that. And then immediately after, please join us in the band room for a dessert reception. Man, the community is like the most important aspect of this whole thing. I would love to get to talk to you and get to know you guys, and get to know you a little better. And most importantly, I just want to say, man, I'm so incredibly proud of these kids. Many of which have had to overcome fears and challenges that you don't see up here on the stage, but we see it behind the scenes. And they've had to overcome and work so hard to get up here and perform for you. So without further ado, thank you one more time. And here's a tune written by most Sorry, that sounds a whole lot like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, performed by the 23-24 beginning band. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and I really hope that you'll join us for our dessert reception. I'm going to give you one moment before we close out to get a photo op. That's right, that's right. We're going to hold them up here for just a moment so you get your photos. So students, face forward, direct forward, and put on a smile because we're so proud of you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Hope to see you in the band room. And if you could, please help us out with the chairs. We'd appreciate it immensely. Thank you so much.